Hello and welcome. Today we are reviewing how to enter stock plan information into RightCapital. Stock plans can be an important part of the assets clients expect to use for retirement and can also have significant tax consequences, so it is important to ensure that they are reflected accurately. A stock plan consists of a set of granted options, restricted stock units referred to as RSUs, or restricted stock for either a publicly traded stock or a private stock. You will only want to add stock plan and grant information for options that have not exercised or RSUs or restricted stock that have not vested. To add a stock plan, go to the Profile Net Worth screen and click Add Account. You can select the option for Stock Plan. The stock plan consists of two sections. The upper section represents information that applies to the entire stock plan. The lower section reflects the information for the individual grants. We will walk through entering the information in the stock plan. First, like any other card, you can specify the name of the stock plan and the owner. If the stock is from a publicly traded company, you can enter the ticker symbol for that stock. We will pull in the current price for that ticker symbol. If the stock is from a private company, you will need to enter the current price of the stock. The stock return field determines what we will use to model the stock's growth. If you select one of the equity asset classes listed, we will use the return and volatility for that asset class as part of the Monte Carlo simulation. You can also select flat return to enter a specific return percentage. That return will be used in the Monte Carlo simulation in all years. The vesting schedule determines what percentage of shares vest in each year. You can select one of the predefined vesting schedules, or you can add a custom vesting schedule if your client's schedule does not match one of the predefined schedules. In order to add a custom vesting schedule, exit back to the Advisor portal, click on the Models menu, and select the vesting screen. You will see the predefined schedules here, and you can click on Add Vesting to add additional schedules. When you add a new schedule, you will be determining the percentage of shares that vest in each calendar year. If your client's schedule is measured more granularly, you should consolidate that into what happens per year. For example, if a client's schedule indicates that 10% of shares should vest in each of the first 4 quarters, you would want to enter that as 40%, 4 quarters times 10% in the first year. You can name each schedule whatever you like. Back in the stock plan card, the Vest at Separation dropdown allows you to indicate if shares should automatically vest at the owner's retirement, death, both, or neither. An important component of modeling stock plans is indicating the strategies for when options are exercised and for when shares are liquidated. You can set default exercise and liquidation strategies that apply to all grants. You will be able to override these at the grant level as well. For exercise strategy, there are 4 options, combinations of 2 different choices. The first decision is whether to have shares exercise immediately upon vesting or to wait as long as possible until shares expire. The other choice is to have those shares start vesting as soon as possible or at a specific year. If you choose either of the options to start at a specific future year, you can then enter that year. The exercise strategy only applies to options, not to restricted stock or RSUs, which exercise automatically upon vesting. For liquidation strategy, you can determine if shares should automatically liquidate immediately when exercised, 1 year after exercise so that they are taxed at long-term capital gains rates, or all in a specific future year to better manage cash flows and/or taxes. Once you've entered all the information about the stock plan, you can start adding individual grants. You can enter grants for incentive stock options, ISO, non-qualified stock options, NQO, restricted stock units, or restricted stock. For each type of grant, you should enter the grant date. For options, ISO or NQO, you will also enter number of shares granted, strike price, usually the price of the stock as of the grant date. This is the value that your client has the option to purchase the shares at. Unders expire in months indicate the number of months after which the options expire. This should be the number of months from the grant date, not from today. If some shares in the grant have already been exercised, you can either exclude them from the shares granted or enter them under shares exercised. Those shares will be excluded from the calculations as we will assume they are already captured as shares in an investment account. For RSUs, you can simply enter the number of shares granted. This should only be unvested shares, as if the share is already vested, that means the client owns the stock and you should add it in the investment section. For restricted stock, you can similarly enter the number of shares for unvested shares only. You can also indicate if clients have elected 83B, meaning that they chose to pay taxes on the share value at the time of the grant rather than at the time of liquidation. As mentioned previously, each grant will reflect the default exercise and liquidation strategies unless you check on the Customize Strategy box for an individual grant and select a different strategy for that grant only. You can indicate the exercise and liquidation strategies for options and the liquidation strategy for RSUs and restricted stock. The balance, which flows through to the client's net worth, will only show the value of options that have vested but have not yet been exercised. Unvested shares are not included as there is no guarantee the client will be able to realize their value. Exercised shares are not included in the calculation as we assume those are included in an investment account. Hopefully this video has helped you understand how to enter stock plans in RightCapital. Thanks for watching, and as always, reach out with any questions.